Hey there and welcome. Thank you for choosing the Budget Planner for Couples. So, whether you're managing your finances with a partner or whether you're organizing multiple streams of income solo, this tool is going to help you streamline your financial tracking effortlessly, on the go, and in collaboration if that's the way you want to track. This planner does require a free Google account using Google Sheets, but what it does not require is additional spreadsheet knowledge on how to use it. I'm going to show you everything right here. So let's dive in. You are currently on the Get the Start Here tab, which is all about getting started. I've got a link here if you want to follow our store, Prosper Productivity, on Etsy. Just a quick important call out here that there are protected ranges in this workbook, and those will give you a warning, alert you should you try to write over them. Here you'll see this is where the setup video lives. This is just some additional data, kind of like an overview of all the tabs. If you need help, you run into any problems, you can reach out to me at this email, Prosper Productivity Shop, and if you click this button, it will actually take you to the email. As a reminder, this file is for personal use only. It should not be shared, redistributed, or repurposed without consent from Prosper Productivity. So let's get started on the overview of the tabs. This is our setup sheet. This is where you're going to find customization and some keys on how I've got some of the things currently set up. This is actually the, like I mentioned, customizable. Tells you about your income sources. This is where we have room, and we have 5 different spaces for income. You can name these. These are the customizable tabs. So if this wants to be Glenda's paycheck, you can change that, and it will change it everywhere else throughout the spreadsheet. We will have to do a quick update there, but it will put that, you'll see Glenda's paycheck is now in here. If we want to go back to the setup, and if you want to say this is my Smith's paycheck, paycheck from Smith's, whatever you put here, it's going to put it over here on the income log, but you'll see there's an invalid warning, and that's just because it used to say Jim's paycheck, and what we'll have to do now is change that. If you are going to, since I did leave space for 5, here's a brand new one. If you put that this is John's paycheck or John's digital store, then if you go over here, your income log, you're going to see that this is Glenda's, but you're going to see that John's digital store is now available on the drop down. Back to the setup, that's exactly how these expense types are. I've categorized the expenses into 10 main types, and you can see that breakdown here. Housing and utilities, transportation, living expenses, financial management, and education. I also put in credit card debt payment and savings. These are pretty much self-explanatory. For the living expenses, if you want to know what kind of categories of expenses fall under living expenses, you can see some ideas that I put here. These are both customizable. If you don't want to write housing utilities, you can change that. And again, just like we saw the drop downs change from using this one, they will change on the expense log. If we put a new one in here, that the new category is my card. Let's see, it is a what is a good credit card? Just say credit card Jim. Credit card Jim. Let's go here. And so if we know that every time we pay that, if we go to the expense log, we're going to see that credit card Jim, that's Jim's card, it's come up and it's available. And then we're going to delete that one. So this is where you can customize. You can also customize these, but I've pretty much broke them down. And if you can see, you've got space for vehicle repairs, investing, healthcare, insurance, education, food, personal spending, which might kind of, here's some examples. So this is the customization tab. This is what you'll do in the beginning when you want to figure out how you're going to label your income and expenses. Next, we're going to go over to the automated dashboard. This is kind of where all the magic happens. This is going to provide you both a monthly, as you can see here, and a yearly, as you can see here, view of both your income and your expenses. Remember, anything that these are all auto-populated, anything that you put up on the setup tab is going to follow through on the income. It's also going to follow through on your expenses. All of these are protected, as I mentioned before. If we go to, say you accidentally click on and edit a protected cell, it's going to give you a warning, and you can cancel that. If you choose not to cancel that and you want to make a change, just remember that some of the features in the customization will not be there. If you are here and you want to make a change and then you remember, oh gosh, this is got a formula in it, and you want to back out, you can back out. If you accidentally make the change and we say okay, you can also go up here to undo, and it will help you back out of that change. And we've still got this set up. So those are just some tips on how to get through this if you accidentally move over a protected cell. Now, here's a quick overview of the expenses. You can see living expenses, housing, everything that you put over here that comes from the setup here. All 10 of these categories, which I call expense types, will show up in this pie chart as spending happens in those categories. Right now you can see we have living expenses, housing, and we have some savings in there. It's only 55 right now, so it's a very small slice. Down here, let me touch on this one. If you're splitting the bills, say you have a partner in there and you're splitting the bills 50-50, if you're splitting all of the expenses, this will give you a quick view and say exactly how much each person should pay if you're putting all in as splitting all. So this is a savings overview. This also is all automated. Everything on this tab is automated. So you can see we do have some savings in there right now. We have 50. If we go to the expense log, which is where we take the savings from, and we want to transfer some money to the savings, let's say that this is in June 1st. As you see, you type the date in here, it's going to populate this month. This is also a protected cell. And so what you're going to do is you're going to type in this date. You're going to type in what it is. And over here, you're going to type in the type, the amount that you want to transfer. Let's say we're going to put 100 into the savings. This is optional since this category does not have, savings does not have additional, it does like a drilled down category, but you can still choose to put savings there, or you can choose not to. When we come back over to the dashboard, you're going to see that the June savings is there at 100. We put 100 in. You can still see our April. So here you're going to have a monthly view of your savings, and then you're going to have a year total. So you'll be able to see all of your savings monthly and by the total year. Back to housing and utilities, which we talked about earlier. Housing and utilities, this is stuff like rent, water bill, gas bill, internet, electricity. You're going to enter them on your expense log, which we're going to cover in a minute. And this is all populating from that expense log. Remember, this is the auto-populated sheet, and it's telling you that you've spent 1,000 in housing and utilities bucket, and you can see that here. If you're tracking and you want to start tracking monthly to see if you're spending more in one month than another, as opposed to a different month, then you can see here. And then if you want to drill down and see why, you can actually come and look and see one of these categories and figure out why you're spending so much more in that category. So that was just an overview of the automated dashboard. Now we're going to go to the automated running sheet. Again, this is automated. It's driven by your income log and your expense log. These are the two powerhouse tabs where you're going to enter the data. So this is automated. Like I said, all of this is protected. Should you make some sort of edit, you can undo. But if you try to do anything, it's going to come up with a warning. What this is telling you is this is like a running balance sheet. So what I want to show here and highlight is that on April 16th, the rent is getting ready to come out and you've pre-planned it. So this yellow, kind of yellowish peach is telling you, hey, that's a warning. You're low on your account. And on April 17th, you went to the grocery store to spend $100 and you're going to be short in your bank account. So there are indicators here to keep you, anything that is in balance is the normal color. Once you're alerted, it's going to turn orangish, and then when you, and the colors will depend on your screen, but once you're in overdraft, it's going to turn red. So this is here to protect you. So where this data is coming from, as I mentioned, is those income logs and the expense log. So let's start with the income. This is where, as you can see, we talked about those customizable there are actually 5 customizable spaces. You can choose to write a description if you want. You don't have to, especially if you're customizing these, but that's up to you. All you have to do in both this income and the expense is type in the date. And so if the date is 6/1, it's going to auto-populate the month, and that's because this populates our automated dashboard. So there's no room for error if you are typing in the date over here. What also populates is the amount. So in this case, this is income. We are making $200 and we're getting this from maybe the Etsy income. If we head over there and if we look, and that was from June 1st, if we go to the automated, we should see that right about here. Sorry, Etsy income for June, and it says 200. So if we go back over there, that's probably because we have already put some income. Oh, we said 200. All right, so anything that you put over here, if I choose that, change that to 100, we're going to come over here, and that's going to say in June we received $100. And if you come back and if you receive another check, you can also put that in here for $100. Maybe this is for a paycheck from Smith's, and this is also on 6/1, and this might be Jim's check, whatever you want to put there. This is not transferring anywhere. When you come back over here, you can see that $100 we put over here, the paycheck from Smith's. We go back to the dashboard. Here's the paycheck from Smith's, and it should have been $100 on 6/1, and it says $100 right here. The expense log works in very much the same way. You're entering your data in column B, and you're putting your amount. As we did with the savings, you can also do that with the rent. And any of your other categories. These are those customizable categories that we talked about. Maybe this is living expenses. So maybe this is food. And here you're going to put down how much it was. And over here you can look for the living expenses. These were the ideas that I put. Maybe this was some personal spending, or maybe it was just food that you were spending. And then when you go back over here to your automated dashboard, you're going to see those living expenses for June that we just entered. So these are your 2 powerhouse tabs for entering data. These are your 2 magic dashboards that are going to take on all of the workload themselves based on what you input into both of these tabs and based also on how you customize. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to email me at prosperproductivityshop@gmail.com. This is a tab, this is a workbook. You can save the original and use it over and over again if you'd like, maybe one each year, which is how I like to use it. Then you have a clean, fresh year each year. Just remember, a quick reminder that this budget planner spreadsheet is for personal use only. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you get a lot out of it. And thanks for watching. Bye.